service within Bincom, Emigr8, but eventually now we've been building Emigr8 into its own startup, which will be launching very, very soon as its own startup, as a startup incubated by Bincom Dev Center. But we also make a lot of information available, and some of the Emigr8 services available to any members of Bincom Dev Center. One of that is these conversations that we are having today. If you haven't been following Emigr8, download the app, follow the open days, go through some of the resources there, particularly if you're interested in relocating and settling in any of the countries that Emigr8 focuses on. Emigr8 focuses on the UK, US, Canada, France, Germany, and Australia at the moment, and we are looking to expand that to many more countries over a period of time. And what it is that many of these countries, they've made different visas available. If you're a talent and if you're able to show that you are a talent, these visas are available for you to explore, for you to be able to move to those jurisdictions. If you're already in that jurisdiction and you're looking to switch visas, you may want to look at some of those options as well for switching to a pathway to settlement. And there's a lot of information there, and there's a lot there in terms of this journey, because for many of these visa opportunities, even if you don't qualify today, you can plan over a period of time, and you have to take the right positive actions over a period of time for you to qualify for these visa opportunities. It's possible. And what we've done with the Emigr8 Open Days is we've brought in people, some of which are successes on the platform, because we have over 50 right now, actually, successes, although publicly we still say over 40, but we actually have over 50 successes verifiable that we've helped to relocate or switch their visa on the platform. We bring some of these people, they talk about their journey, they talk about some of the things they've done, they talk about where they are, they try to educate, inspire, and inform our community. And so there's a lot of that available on the Emigr8 platform. And then, of course, if people are looking for additional support, then they could look at our Do It With Me approach, which is premium. They will have to pay for that. Or our Do It For Me approach, which is a premium option, which is paid for. But on the platform, we have a lot available for free. So over 80% of what we do on that platform is actually free. And it is free because we use a freemium model. Freemium model is a combination of free and premium. So if you use Gmail, for example, most people don't pay for Gmail, although Gmail is a profitable company by itself within the Google group. And the reason is because the few people that pay actually compensates for all the people that use the same platform for free. And that's what we are doing on the Emigr8 platform. And so please download the app if you haven't. If you're a member of Bincom Dev Center, you're automatically a tester for that app anyway, and then use the app. Peter, I'm expecting you're sharing screen and you're sharing the landscape, which is what I'm going to be using for my conversation for the rest of today. And for everyone else, it's a video call. Please ensure that your video is on. I am co-host now, so I will put you in the waiting room if your video is not on. If you are joining for the first time, sorry that they didn't inform you, or maybe they informed you and you didn't listen, but it's a video conversation, so please put on your video. All right. Any questions so far? You can also unmute and say no questions, because I would like to know that you are here. And as I said, if your video is not on, I reserve the right to put you in the waiting room, and I will do that in a few minutes.
No questions.
Yeah, no question from my end. But I'm having issues with my Zoom. I don't know, my videos is not turning on, and just now I tried sharing my screen. It's not sharing as well. I don't know what that could be.
Okay. We'll need someone to share screen, because let me know when you're ready. For everyone else, if you haven't spoken, I asked a question. Please, you can say no question as well.
No question, sir.
Thank you. Peter, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to turn on my videos and I don't know. It's telling me that I should switch to another video.
Do you want to check from your audience if someone can help you share screen?
Okay. Yeah. Antonia, please, are you there?
Yes,
Hello,
I'm
Antonia.
here.
Yeah. Can you help us share screen?
Okay.
Okay, let me, oh, sorry, I forgot. I have to make a focus for you to be able to do that. Okay, I think I don't need to be a co-host. I think, yeah, you have access to that feature now. If you are ready, you can just let me know.
Okay, I'll share now. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
I can see your screen.
Like, I can see your screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
All right. If you scroll down a little, you see a table that has a bunch of visas in one. Just scroll down. You don't. It's in the first section. Oh yeah, this one. If you can zoom out just a little for this, this is what I'm going to focus on. But if you're interested, you can read more by going to this page. I'll be right back. All right. So what we've done on the platform is we've divided the tech visas into 5 key categories. We've got the startup, we've got talent, we've got work-based, we've got digital nomad or temporary visas, and then we have others. And for each one of these categories, they have different requirements, but the overall summary is that if you are a globally attractive talent, you have options. Now, for each category, there are requirements that the visa issuing authority, the country, has put in place just to make sure that not everybody would use the visa to move to their jurisdiction. Think about it, if it was just open and the gate was just open, everyone would move everywhere, right? But the countries of the world are also not doing you a favor by making these visas available. The reason why they're available is because they want you and your skill and your talent and your ability to generate income, your innovation, and so on. They want you to move to their jurisdiction. They've calculated it to say, even if you move with your family and you move with your children and dependents and all, they've calculated that net, you are a added value contributor to their economy. And that's the reason why many of these visas are available. And so what we see on the Emigr8 platform is if you are globally attractive, you have options. You have options of living in your own country and working remotely globally. And we talk about that on these sessions. You have options of living in your own country and working within your own economy, but at a certain level, at a high level. You have options of then deciding to say, oh, I want to move to a different jurisdiction for whatever reason. And you have options also if you want to do what they call reverse migration, but it's also just migration, to say you want to move back from the West to a developing economy. All of that are possible because you are globally attractive. And that's my message today, to say in everything that you're doing in terms of building your career, and you're the overall responsible person for building your career, nobody else will build your career for you. People can assist. We have platforms like Income Dev Center that gives you a springboard for you to accelerate your career, but ultimately you are responsible for your career. And what I'm trying to say is that in building your career, build your career to be globally sought after, build your career to be globally attractive. In terms of the different categories, we've got startups. There are visas available if you're a startup founder, and in some cases, if you're a startup employee, an early employee of a startup. In the UK, we have the UK Innovator Founder Visa. In Canada, we have the Canada Startup Visa, and there are several options along those lines. These visas are available because you're a startup founder, and in some cases, that visa or that opportunity can also pay for your flight and ticket and relocation expenses and all of that, because your company literally becomes your pathway to relocation and settlement. There are nuances to it. With the UK Innovator Founder Visa, all you need is just an idea at the base level. However, with the Canada Startup Visa, you need a startup that is already doing well in your home economy. And then what you're saying to Canada is that we want to expand globally, using Canada as our springboard. So you must have been able to show some traction. So differences both around startup ideas, but one is beginning, one is at the point where the startup is already doing well at probably the seed round or something like that. We've got talent-based visas. So with talent-based visas, those are that you've achieved a certain level in your career, even as a exceptional promise, which is even with less than 5 years of experience, even with 2 years of experience, but you've attained some levels of recognition in your ecosystem, recognition in your career, experience, exposure, and you could get something called the UK Global Talent Visa. Australia has the National Innovation Visa. It used to be called Global Talent Visa until November 2024. And so this will be updated in the 2025 edition of this landscape. And so there are talent-based visas. And then there are work-based visas to say if you land a job in that economy that would sponsor you, you are able to use that as your pathway for relocation and settlement. In Germany, there's the German EU Blue Card Visa. And Germany also has their opportunity card and so on. There's also digital nomad visa. These are usually not a pathway to settlement. However, there are pathways that you may want to think about. So one of the individuals that, interestingly, a Bincom Academy alumni from the Python classes and all of that, Promise spoke on the digital nomad visa in Malta, and very soon we'll be talking about Spain and so on. The digital nomad visas don't generally allow you to settle. However, they could be an intermediate step to say you move from your own country to an intermediate country, and then from there you can decide to then move on to the anywhere else you're looking to move to in the future. In Germany, there's the German job seeker visa, which is available to say move to Germany for 6 months or 1 year, and you use that visa to go look for a job in Germany. So there are several opportunities like this, and there are investment-based visas as well that you may want to be aware of. For many of these visas, we have resources available on the Emigr8 platform that has been curated, videos, information, templates, things like that, that you can use, even if you are not yet qualified. Because many of these visas, there are some that are beginner friendly on the list, but many of them, you need to be either intermediate or advanced in your field of, in your experience in the digital technology field. However, you can plan a journey towards qualifying over a period of time. The worst that you can do is not knowing or knowing about the visas, knowing that you're interested or you would like to, but then you don't do the right positive steps towards you getting to and qualifying for the visas. For example, with the UK Global Talent Visa at exceptional promise level, within a 2-year period, you can actually qualify for that visa, even if you're an absolute beginner, you've not even started your journey today. It is possible, but there's a lot of things that you will need to do, and your profile will need to look in a certain way for you to qualify. All of that is part of what we talk about on the platform, and I'm here to answer questions as regards what I've said so far. And so, yeah, so that's my little talk today. I'm going to leave the rest of the 15 minutes for questions. And yeah, and so at this point, Peter, could you please put people who don't have their video on in the waiting room? Thank you. All right, questions? Does anyone have any question? Anything I can help with?
Hello.
Hello.
My question is the 2-year pathway. Is 2 year the only? Is 2 years the only like time frame for it? Like, is there a shorter time frame, or is 2 years the only mandatory time frame that is for the global talent visa?
No, so I didn't say 2 years is the time frame. I said an absolute beginner hasn't done anything at all can qualify in 2 years, right?
What if someone has experience?
Yes, so if you have some experience and your experience counts towards the visa, the timeline may be shorter, right? And all of that is part of what we talk about on the Emigr8 platform.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Questions?
I guess there are no questions. No questions.
Yeah, if there are no questions, I have
No
to ask
question.
questions.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So my question is, there are some times that when you go through all these job portals online, even though you are qualified for a particular role, but the fact that you are not based in that country is like a setback. But the fact
That's
remains
correct.
that even if you are based in that country, it's still a remote role. Why is the need for being based in that country? Why is it compulsory? Because the fact remains that it's a remote role. Why is it compulsory for one to relocate to get such jobs?
So it depends on how the company is set up. Not every company is set up as a remote first company. And you need to understand that when you hire an employee, you are bound by rules and laws based on the country where you are hiring, and in some cases, based on the country where the employee is. And so some organizations are not able to navigate those kinds of complexities, although there are startups like Deal and eventually Emigr8 as well, who provide something called employer on record services. So the point is that although, yes, I'm looking for someone to do this remotely or to work with my organization remotely, I have to also hire based on the structure I already have in place, or if I'm willing and able to deal with structure. So structures as simple as how do you pay salaries, right? Those kinds of things would be challenges. And in some countries, they are strict about who you can hire without them requiring a visa in their specific jurisdiction. So that's the reason why. Your own point, though, and I guess the question you haven't asked is then, knowing this, what should I do? What you need to do is then find, and you would find a few companies from time to time who would say that, to say they're willing and able to sponsor. So for like the UK, you can find roles, and some of those roles would be willing to actually sponsor. It's not as prevalent as it was about 2 to 3 years ago. The job landscape is slightly different in the UK today, because there's been a lot, and not just UK, actually globally, because there's been a lot of technology layoffs and all. So people that used to work in Google, Facebook, Twitter, and so on are looking for work, in addition to you also looking for work. There are many people already on shore that are looking for work. And so it's harder now, but it is still possible to land roles remotely. And in some cases, it's possible to land roles that are willing to sponsor you to relocate. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Questions? All right, I'll ask questions then. So drop in the chats, what countries would you think are most favorable to relocation and settlement of talent? Drop in the chat, and I ask everyone to drop in the chat. You can drop one country, you can drop many countries, but what countries do you feel like they are most favorable to relocation and settlement of talent into their jurisdiction? There are a number of people here. I've only seen 3 comments, and I see 3 going towards Europe, UK, Germany, Europe, United Kingdom. I'm waiting for others. And you can put more than one country if you want. So my answer to that question is every forward-thinking country of the world. So whatever country you put there, well, I've not seen any country that I don't consider forward-thinking. every forward-thinking country of the world has made pathways available for, sorry, I'm putting people in the waiting room, basically. Every forward-thinking country of the world has made pathways available for people to relocate to and settle in, right? And so US, for example, with the advent of Trump, you would expect that they wouldn't be approving the EB1s, EB201 visas. But the interesting thing we've been seeing is that we've actually seen faster approvals of cases since Trump became president. Whether or not they will change their immigration policy further in the future, we don't know. And that's the thing with policies as well. As long as you're not the one making the policies, you may not know where the policy will fall, but you generally can tell trends. The trend today is that most countries are obviously against illegal migration, but most countries are open to talents moving to their jurisdiction. And the reason is because they know they are better off. At the moment, we are no longer fighting for oil. We are no longer fighting for land as much. We're actually fighting for talents, right? And that's what is going on the global landscape. What you can do as a tech professional, particularly if you're interested in these pathways, is for you to pay attention to what is going on, because you can use that trend to your own advantage. Open your eyes to the opportunities. One of the ones I would say you go watch is the Promise, the Emigr8 Open Day, where we talked about, I'm trying to remember the name of the theme, but we were talking about Germany, we were talking about Malta, and we were talking about different pathways for a tech professionals to move to those countries that I've just mentioned. But it was inspiring for the average techie in Bincom Dev Center, because one of the people that spoke was Promise, who was in Bincom Academy just 4 years ago or 3 years ago or thereabout. And she spoke about her journey, what some of the things she had to do, and all of that. And I believe that that is something that many people would benefit from, particularly from a Bincom Dev Center context. There are also several others available in terms of video resources, replay videos, that I encourage you to go look for and spend time watching it. But if you find out this information and you do nothing about it, you are not better off than the person that didn't know. What you then want to do is ensure that you build some sort of roadmap for yourself of how you can tick some of these boxes. The good news is that a number of things that they ask you to do in Bincom Dev Center will help you tick those boxes. But if you do them well, then yes. If you don't do them well, then maybe not. So Bincom Dev Center will say to you that you should speak at community events. That will help you. Bincom Dev Center will say to you that you should attend external events at least once a month. That will help you. Bincom Dev Center will talk to you about weekly drills, to say continue working on weekly drills, because eventually you would have to do interviews where they will ask you theoretical questions that has nothing to do with real life coding. That will help your journey. Bincom Dev Center will tell you to do things like knowledge development, and that with your knowledge development, build public artifacts. That will help you. They will tell you to do things like host meetups and community events in your location. That will help you, because all of those things are generating artifacts, public artifacts as we call them. And those public artifacts, in some cases, becomes part of the evidence you will provide to say you are globally attractive. And so that's a good place to start. The things they've asked you to do them well. We call them microservices. Do them well. Be the best at it. But then beyond that, make sure that you build a roadmap for yourself so that you understand what you are targeting, when you are targeting it, and also ensuring that you are taking the right positive steps towards your target on a day-to-day, week-by-week, month-on-month basis. We built the Emigr8 app to help guide that journey. So you would have things like Emigr8 tasks. You can tick off some of the tasks that you've done and what you need to do. You can book coaching sessions. You can do all of those things. So we built a whole tool that will help that entire journey. But ultimately, your Emigr8 journey is in your hands. The journey of building your career to become globally attractive is in your hands. And you will do with that information what you may. Thank you for listening, and I hope this was useful. What I will ask you to do is please go on the thread where this was shared and post there one thing that you learned from this 30-minute, it was supposed to be 1 hour, but 30-minute session that we've just had. Did you learn anything? Post one thing that you learned in the thread on the Emigr8 internal channel. I'll be looking out for your feedback. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely rest of the day.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I think I do have a question. Okay, concerning the I understand we have various visa types. So are there certain visa types that are easy to secure? And are there also countries that it's easy for you to relocate to?
Hello, Peter. I think you can further ask these questions in the thread. This is because Buddy has signed out.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for joining today's session. I hope you found it very insightful and informative for you. Well, just like the facilitator said, you can on the Emigr8. You can reach out to us on the Emigr8 community and carry on the conversation. If you have your questions there, you can drop them there. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Let's enjoy the rest of our day and see you again next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.